But I don't accept the bugging between the society and the power, because, you know, the civil organism of the society is not developed quite rightly. And that is exactly what the people, the population is showing, you know. The mentality of the people is developing. The democracy, not only the word now, but that is the feeling of the people. One can consider democracy differently, but this is the fact. The people, they would like to say their word about the policy. And you know, we cannot judge by the crowd of 30,000 or even, you know, 20,000.
Well, I'll tell you what you can judge by, perhaps. Maybe not the size of the crowd, but what happens to the crowd and what happens to the leaders of the opposition. And what we have seen in the last few months is that leaders of the crowd, of protesters, they get arrested. Their phones are bugged. Their internet access is hacked into. We've seen it with a whole host of people who are trying to speak out. For you, as a close Putin ally, somebody who knows the president well, do you watch what is happening and do you think, this is wrong? My president is taking this country, or my prime minister at the moment, my future president probably, taking this country in the wrong direction.
Listen, firstly, when we are talking about opposition leaders who, you know, convinced this huge crowd, this is not correct. Because when we are talking about the actual leaders of so-called opposition, that was not them to, you know, convince the crowd. That was the other people. People living in internet. Young people who are living in internet, they are following them. So this is one point. Second point, listen, everywhere the state is trying to protect itself. Everywhere. But what you're absolutely correct. You know, that is not the old
I can't accept that. Well, you're suggesting that what the Russian state does in terms of locking up protesters and protest leaders is what happens in a democracy in the UK or in the United States. Of course, it's not what happens at all.
Yes, but, you know, look what happened with those who was, you know, creating the movement, take the Wall Street. Just several weeks ago, the police demolished the camp there, and that was considered democratic.
Do you really think there is a direct parallel between the way in which the Occupy movement is treated and the way in which Boris Nemtsov and a whole host of other Russian opposition leaders have been locked up, have been harassed, have been bugged by the state apparatus in Russia?
I don't know about the bugging, I don't know about the harassment, but I know that when the, you know, crowd first time met at Bolotnaya embankment, the police officers, they were strictly warned to be polite, to be very cautious, and not to ruin the process.